What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing. We are live here in Bahrain for this multi-class race. So, 1 second, guys, I just need to get this sorted. Bear with me. So it is it GT3's first? It is GT3's first, so Matteo Maccarini on his debut is here tonight in the Ford Mustang. So the Ford Mustang driver on his debut here in Bahrain. And looking forward to seeing what he can do here tonight. How do I get rid of that black dot at the top? You told me before, Salute, but I don't know how to do it. Shift Alt T. Shift Alt T. There we go. Beautiful. Right. This is going to be a cracker of a race. So, Theo Townland is also behind in that Mercedes. And then Matteo Maccarini just coming down towards turn 11. And he will start his lap as we ride on board with this driver. So riding on board with the Matteo. So there's some new drivers on the grid tonight, but we haven't got the driver data for them. So I do apologise. I don't know where they're from or anything. So coming up towards turn 4. Reese's debut as well. Thank you, Lucas. You should see the ones that we've got throughout the race. I'm hoping you like them. So Matteo coming through turn 5 and 6. And was that Milan Lawrence? Milan Lawrence has already set a lap time. So Fanfinus has gone fastest with Conor Garrett in P2. Theo Townland in P3. So this is a great lap time from some of these drivers. So Nicholas Duncan, Ryan Spencer. Jaden, it wasn't on the stream, you're lucky. So Ryan Spencer in a beautiful McLaren. But it is, Milan Lawrence is currently on a pole position for the GT3. He's just in front of Conor Garrett. I will get my bearings in a second, so do bear with me a second. And look at this, a bit of slipstream from Conor Garrett. There's a few drivers yet to settle up. Daniel Krupa in the Porsche coming out of turn 9 down towards turn 10 and 11. He's just weaving, so he's not on a lap. Alex Bournet in the Lexus is back. It's nice to see Alex Bournet back. Then we've got Jaden Grottenhouse, who is participating in his second race. So Daniel Krupa coming down towards the line. Race control decision, send him in chat. Yeah, I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure. Yeah, send him in chat, mate. So you can see the tyre compounds that the driver's on, and Kevin Estre in the BMW has gone faster than Milan by 0.4 of a second. Yellow sector 3. So Kevin Estre. And then we've got Milan Lawrence. 1 second, guys. Something's not working here. Oh, it is working. So Kevin Estre, Milan Lawrence, Oliver Smith. Sorry about that, guys. So, I do apologise. I've had a few of them stream problems lately. I don't know why. So Kevin Estre is currently on provisional pole. Richard Tychak with 10 minutes of qualifying to go is currently in P2. Then you've got Reese Dye on his debut in P3. That is a really nice looking Mercedes. And that is Conor Garrett and Milan separated by 11 1,000ths of a second. This is really close. So we can have a look at the comparisons in the top left of the drivers. That is what it looks like at the moment, and you can see how close it is, being 11 1,000ths of a second separating the top two. Then you've got Richard, Oscar Ellis, Reese Dye, and then you've got a little bit of a jump to Oliver Spitch, and then Marek Odelos, Robert Rockford, Ryan Spencer, and then Mato Gubro. These are all pretty close on track. Alex Bournet as well is there. So a lot of the drivers. So, some of these guys on a lap. Sorry, I've got something covering my screen. Bear with me. So I can't see the last corner. There we go. So, the number 13 driver. And you've got a couple of guys coming towards the line now. And that is Oliver Spitch and Conor Garrett. Conor Garrett takes provisional pole by 1/10 and a half. Oliver Spitch in P2. And then Milan Lawrence now down to P3. But that is a cracking lap from Oliver. We were waiting to see what he could do. And he's definitely delivering. And Richard, nearly 3/10 quicker than the rest of the grid. You know who I've not seen for a while on track? Thomas Buter, and I do like Thomas, but yeah, not seen him on track for a while. So Richard is currently on provisional pole. What about Matteo Maccarini? He's heading down towards turn 10 in that Ford Mustang. Yellow sector 3. There's a car, that's number 12 that has spun. That is Oscar Ellis. No, it's not Oscar Ellis. My apologies. I was getting all confused there. It was Robert Rockford. And then Matteo Maccarini coming down towards the line, and he puts it up at the moment in P9. Can he improve? He does not improve on his lap time. So Theo Thailand in P10 in that all black Mercedes with 007 written across the side of it. Alex Bournet. And then you've got Mato Gubro as he now comes to the line, but he's not improving. Nicholas Duncan in the Lexus. And then Reese Dye will be next in the Mercedes. Reese Dye goes up to P5, half a second behind pole. We've got an absolutely stacked grid here tonight. A huge grid, 33 drivers on track. That is what we want to see. So Milan is only 8 100ths behind Oliver Spitch in that Ferrari. And then Ryan Spencer only 6 100ths behind Robert Rockford, and Mato Gubro only 7 100ths behind Ryan. It is really tightly bunched throughout this grid. It's great to see. So we do have Oliver Spitz that is coming down towards the line once again, but he's not going to improve on this occasion. And then that was the number... Oh, and he spun it coming out of the final corner. Marek will be next. The number 19 driver for the Titan Core Racing team. Now Marek will stay P9 for the moment. And then we do have Mato Gubro that will come through. He stays in P15. Kevin Estre is on an outlap. So is Ryan and Jaden. And that is Milan up to P2. The Ferrari driver coming down the line. And Theo Thailand moves up to P8. So this is now getting very close. So Richard currently fastest of anybody. Yellow sector 1. Oscar Ellis into the pit lane he goes. Then we've got Ryan Spencer just about to start his lap. And Conor Garrett will be next to the line. He's also going to start another lap. And then Matteo Maccarini in the Ford Mustang. So these all going for them runs once more. Kevin Estre in the BMW M4. And then Marek Odlos. We do have Reese Dye. He's not improving on his lap time. Milan as well. Milan is half a second up, but he's got a little bit of traffic. Milan 4 attempts potentially would put him on the top spot. It does not. So hypercars may line up at 10-6. Local time, I'm guessing. Oh, 17:50, you mean in time, sorry. Oliver Spitch. And there is a yellow flag as one of the drivers is just pulling up there. And Ryan Spencer is a second up. Ryan Spencer is flying. And Ryan goes up to P6. Now Theo Tarnland to the line, stays P9. Then you've got Matteo Maccarini who stays where he is. And Conor Garrett. Here comes Kevin Estre. He has been on provisional pole once already. He's 17/1000ths behind Ryan. So GT3 qualifying is nearly over. So really interesting qualifying so far. We're seeing names that we haven't seen before. So here comes Jaden Grottenhouse. He is slightly up. This would put him in front of Robert Rockford. It doesn't. 77/1000ths behind Robert Rockford still. And then we've got Oliver Spitch, who is not currently in the green. Reese Dye is behind him. And then that Lexus. You've got Conor Garrett right at the back of the pack. Richard coming to the line in that Lexus. He's currently on pole by 4/10 of a second. So green flag, we are back racing. So Kevin Estre, 3/10 down on his lap time. Marek Odlos is half a second down. Then you've got Oscar Ellis, who's just tinkering in the red. And Daniel Krupa, the 18th GT3, here today in the Porsche, heading down. He's 1.7 up on his lap time. Where is this going to put Daniel Krupa? And he will stay P18 for the moment. Jaden Grottenhouse. This will be their final runs. They can do no more. This is it. It is now or never. Reese Dye is right on the brink. He's 7/10 behind Richard at the moment as the Mercedes driver comes out of the final chicane, but he's not improving. He will maybe get one more run at this. Then we've got Alex Bournet with Oliver Spitz behind him. Alex Bournet is not improving. Oliver Spitz neither. Richard to the line. And then we have Stefano Lavrone in the Ford Mustang. Does improve. And Stefano will stay P17 for now. Theo Tarnland and then Kevin Estre. These two, the next to hit the checkered flag. Kevin Estre just behind him. Stays P7. The number 12 driver of Matteo Maccarini will not improve. And then Marek Odlos goes into the pit lane. Oscar Ellis is slightly up, but it's not going to be enough to improve his position. Robert Rockford next to the line. And then we've got Milan, who is competing for pole. GT3 qualifying is over. Jaden Grottenhouse into the pit lane. Hypercars are now allowed out of the pit lane. And the final runners in the GT3s will head towards the line. And I tell you what, Reese is improving. He's 3/10 up. He's only 7/10 off provisional pole. And he's slipped into the pit lane. He was improving. Oh, that's a real shame. And look at this, Richard. And the rest of the drivers start to peel off into the pit lane. Conor Garrett is not finding any more. Theo Tanland is slightly up. He's 2 tenths behind Oscar Ellis. He's not going to find that 2 tenths. Matteo Maccarini is not improving. And then Oscar Ellis, the final driver in the McLaren. He is up on his lap time. Can Oscar Ellis be the final driver to improve? He could potentially take P6, but no, he's losing time. He can still take P7. He's only a tenth of a second behind, but it's dwindling away. But he does. Oscar Ellis in front of Theo Tanland, and that is it for qualifying in GT3. We move on to the hypercars. Oh, Reese thought he had to stop his lap. Oh, no way. So we move on to your hypercar drivers. So the number 10 of the number 93. And I think they're doing a double outlap. Razvan Doplecanu, the Romanian driver in the Peugeot. That's a really nice looking hypercar. And then we do have Deco Slater, who we know is quick. And also Ethan Taylor Solar, who has managed to get a full-time seat now in that Cadillac. Yeah, Maggie, you'll like it. So the hypercar for the Cadillac. And I tell you what, Christian Nyholm will come to the line. He'll put it P3. Ryan Clemenson in P2. Kai Elshoff, the Dutchman, on a provisional pole. And that is Arthur Woods that goes up to P2. So it's Kai Elshoff to Arthur Woods by nearly 2 seconds. And then Razvan Doplecanu will come through. Christian Nyholm, Ethan Taylor, Ryan Clemenson, Arthur Woods, Oguri Cap, Josh Harper-Jones, and then George Benham. All with slow laps at the moment. So we can just watch as George Benham heads down towards turn 10. He has got a driver just behind him. And then down in towards second gear, then first through the right-hander, back onto the accelerator. And he'll use the energy charge down towards the checkered flag. And George Benham is going to put it on P1. Fantastic from the Peugeot as George Benham comes through to take provisional pole by nearly 3 tenths of a second to Kai Elshoff. Christian Nyholm, 4/100ths behind Arthur Woods. Yeah, we raced Bahrain last year, Maggie, so we're racing Bahrain Alta this year. We do have Lucas Rajinski, who will be next to the line. Unknown car. So Lucas Rajinski will stay in P14. And that is Ryan Clemenson that takes provisional pole with 12 minutes to go. George Benham now a second behind at Kai Elshoff, Christian Nyholm, Ethan Taylor. That is Josh Harper-Jones that moves up to P3. Arthur Woods does not let him stay in that P3 spot for very long. Yeah, I will check the new livery out, mate. Ethan Taylor up to P5. You can see the swaps in the standings. So let's have a look at the comparisons as it stands. So as you can see, Ryan Clemenson, currently the fastest driver with a 105.455, and then 1.6 tenths behind him is George Benham, and then Arthur Woods in P3. Josh Harper-Jones with the exact same time as Arthur Woods. So Josh Harper-Jones and Arthur Woods with the exact same time. And Ryan Clemenson, he moves that distance well ahead. 7.5 tenths is now the gap, but you can see the other drivers very closely matched in pace. So let's have a look at the weather for tonight's race. Are we expected to see any rain? Not at the moment. Track temperature 17.7 and track wetness is practically dry. No wind speed. So George Benham against Ryan Clemenson. And Oguri Cap, who is now up to P3. Look how close this is. They are really competing with one another. And that is Lucas Radzinski that moves up to P5. Arthur Woods now demoted to P6. But we have a couple of drivers coming through. And Deco Slater is now your leader, your pole sitter by 7/1000ths of a second to Ryan Clemenson. Arthur Woods will be the next driver to the line. And he does improve. And he goes in front of Lucas Radzinski with the exact same time again. This is remarkable. We have drivers twice now set the exact same time as another driver. You've got Josh Harper-Jones, who's 8/1000ths behind them. Ethan Taylor, Kai Elshoff, Alin Borowski, Razvan Doplikanu and Marin Kitagawa, who will be looking to finish a decent race. Marin Kitagawa has not had much luck in Formula 1 or Le Mans Ultimate recently. And he just can't keep control of these cars. So I'm hoping that he has a decent race here tonight, Marin Kitagawa. And Deco Slater coming to the line. He is going to improve. And now he's only 2 tenths behind Ryan Clemenson. Tamamo Cross is up to P3 in that Castrol Edge looking hypercar. Is it a Castrol Edge? Oh, it is. Oh, it's beautiful. It reminds me of rallying in the 90s. So the Aston Martin Valkyrie of Christian Nyholm, George Benham, Oguri Cap. Yeah, it is really good. So, just under 8 minutes to go. Ryan Clemenson is your pole sitter. Deco Slater in P2. Tamamo Cross in P3. And look at this. A train of drivers coming down towards the line. Yellow Sector 1. A driver is around. Alin Borowski, the Polish driver, is up to P7. Lucas Radzinski into the pit lane. Arthur Woods is not improving. Josh Harper-Jones will start another lap, and then we've got Arthur Woods just about to go into the pit lane. So 7 minutes remaining for these drivers. It will be Marin Kitagawa who will hit the line first on this second set of runs. Pit lane is closed. There's a driver that has stopped in the pits. Pit lane is closed. So that is Marin Kitagawa that's heading into the pit lane as it is closed. I don't know why it's closed. It was just green. There we go. Marin Kitagawa just about making it. So Razvan Doprakanu, who currently sits in P14, we know he's quicker than this. I'm just waiting for him to just set the track alight. Kai Elshoff with a beautiful livery draped over that hypercar Aston Martin. And here comes Kai Elshoff, who goes P5. A cracking lap from Kai Elshoff. Now Alain Borowski. He will try to improve in the Alpine hypercar. So out of turn 11. Oh, and it's a little bit shaky from the Alpine, and all that hard work is being thrown away. Remember, he's only 36 1/1000ths behind Aguri Cap, and it will move him in front. The Polishman is into P7. George Benham only 5 1/1000ths behind Kai Elshoff. In that zebra-looking hypercar of the Peugeot. So George Benham, and remember Ryan Clementon is still on provisional pole. Josh Harper-Jones next to the line. Then we've got Kai Elshoff again. And Deco Slater will start his lap. Marin Kitagawa as well. So Lucas Rajinski following the driver in front, George Benham. So we have 4 minutes of qualifying remaining here in Bahrain. Tamamo Cross not on a lap at the moment, but Josh Harper-Jones is. And Josh Harper-Jones will move to P9 as there's a driver off the track there just hitting the billboards. Arthur Woods. Green flag is waving. So what about George Benham? George Benham is on the back of Lucas Rajinski, who just scoots on out of the way. Yellow sector 1 as one of the drivers is around. It's great to ride on board with these drivers and just see the effort that they're putting in. So Christian Nyholm and then Josh Harper-Jones. And Deco Slater did improve, and just have a look at how it stands now on our fastest lap comparison. You can see how close they are to the line between Ryan and Deco. Then you've got Tamamo and Aguri, and you've got George Benham and Alain Borowski, and Josh Harper-Jones and Christian Nyholm. It is really competitive on the timing charts. So let's have a look at the lap times for these drivers. That is the graph at the moment. Let's have a look at Ryan Clemenson's lap times. So with 2 minutes to go, this will be the drivers' probably last run when they hit the line. Deco Slater not too far behind. He needs a good exit out of turn 10 and 11. Will he get it? Deco Slater, here he comes. It wasn't the exit that he wanted. And Marin Kitagawa with that anime livery And then Arthur Woods is slightly up as a yellow flag for the driver, and that is Ethan Taylor that will be next. And he does improve. I tell you what, Razvan Doprakanu is not finding what he thought he was going to find here. George Benham, just over a minute remaining here in qualifying for Le Mans Ultimate and Formula 7 racing. Lucas Rudzinski is 3 tenths up on his lap time. Lucas Rudzinski is up to P10. And that is a Guri Cap that moves into P3. Josh Harper-Jones is nearly half a second up. They are putting everything into these laps now. Ryan Clemenson is going to go for another run. Christian Nyholm. Then we've got Tamamo Cross. What about Deco Slater? Here we go with a purple sector 2. Deco Slater takes provisional pole by 2.5 tenths. That is his final run. He can do no more. What a lap time from Deco Slater. Arthur Woods in the green stays in P12, and then Ethan Taylor just hitting the line. This is it. They can do no more. It is now or never for these drivers. George Benham is not improving as we thought he would do. Lucas Rudzinski is into the green, and this is it for Lucas Rudzinski. This will potentially put him up to P8 if he can stay in the green. Lucas Rudzinski is into P8. Josh Harper-Jones is not improving. The checkered flag has waved. Kai Elshoff 3 tenths down on his lap time. The driver in P7 of Alan Borowski is into the gravel. And then you've got Marin Kitagawa, who's nearly a second down. And then Arthur Woods, who is 3 tenths up. But this is it. The drivers will not be able to do any more. So 4 tenths up for Arthur Woods. He needs a good exit, and he gets one. This could potentially put him around P7 or P6. And it is P7 for Arthur Woods. Qualifying is over. It is race time here in Bahrain. So, we move on to the race now, guys. I'm looking forward to this one. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be a really good race.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
So we are getting ready to go racing here in Bahrain as the drivers start to queue up on the grid. So good luck to everybody. A minute to go. Yeah, Mad Riot, it's actually a really good game. If I had the time, I would be racing myself, or if I wasn't doing commentary. It's so good. It looks so fun as well. The cars look amazing. The tracks look great. So, all of the drivers queuing up for the race start. We have put a lot of work into it with the overlays and with the marshal boards and with the safety car and all that sort of stuff as well. So that's good. As the marshal boards on your screen that are saying starting soon and yellow flag and all that, that's all being controlled by Salute in the background.
Formation lap has started.
So Deco Slater will get us underway for this race here in Bahrain. It's a short formation lap and then it is 60 minutes of racing. It's 100 minutes next week. And we have an absolutely stacked grid of 33 drivers. Deco Slater will lead the hypercars. Richard Tajciak will lead the GT3s. So we come around turn 10 and 11. I do wonder what Ryan Clemenson is going to do on this start procedure. Will he look for that really early overtake on Deco Slater? We are about to find out here in Bahrain for round 3 in Series 3 here at Formula 7 Racing. It is green and we are racing here at the Bahrain Outer Circuit. Deco Slater and Ryan Clemenson with a really good start already side by side as they head down in towards turn 1. Ryan Clemenson has the outside line on Deco Slater and Ryan is through. The hypercar of Ryan Clemenson moves on through. Josh Harper-Jones and George Benham coming through turn 2. Arthur Woods, Kai Elshoff, Alan Borowski, Richard Tajciak, Marin Kitagawa is round. Kevin Estre has made a mistake in that BMW as Oscar Ellis peels off. Then you've got the Ferrari, the Mercedes, and there's a driver round at the back, and I think that's Robert Rockford and Alex Bournet in the Lexus. And that is a very early safety car here in Bahrain. A huge crash going through turn 2. Safety car is out very early once again. It was the same last Monday. The safety car came out after corner 2, and it's the same here in Bahrain. 2 corners and a safety car due to a huge crash. So the safety car is out. Let's have a look at the standings. So Ryan Clemenson leads to Deco Slater, to Marmo Cross in P3, Josh Harper-Jones in P4. Then you've got George Benham in P5, Agubi Cap in P6 and Arthur Woods in P7. Alan Borowski in P8 and then Kai Elshoff in P9. You've got Lucas Rzazinski in P10 who's going to stay out, and then Ethan Taylor in P11. Razvan Doplicano in P12 and Christian Nyholm in P13. The GT3s, it's Milan Lorenz in P1 with Reese Dye in P2. Oliver Spitch in P3 with Conor Garrett in P4. Oscar Ellis in P5 with Rian Spencer in P6. Richard Tajciak, the pole sitter, in P7 with Nicholas Duncan in P8. Marin Kitagawa in the hypercar just in the middle with Kevin Estre in P9. Manek Odlos in P10 with Theo Townland in P11. Matteo Maccarini in P12 with Jaden Grottenhaus in P13. Robert Rockford in P14 with Stefano Lavroni in P15. Mato Gubro in P16 and Daniel Krupa in P17. Alex Bournet in the Lexus in P18. Wow. So, safety car is out. They will catch up to the safety car driver. That's who they're on the back of now. And that safety car driver is Salute in the safety car. The yellow Corvette. So we are on board with the safety car of Salute. And the drivers will regroup back up. I think the drivers, there's a hypercar that needs to overtake the GT3s. And there's a couple of drivers that are going into the pit lane. Are they retiring? They're going to have to unlap themselves here as well. So Marin Kitagawa has been given the green light to unlap himself, and he'll filter through the GT3s. There we go, Marin being told to unlap, and that's exactly what he will do. He just needs to be careful going down towards the first chicane, and now he's back with the pack. So is Alex Bournet still in this race? He is, but he's in the pit lane. So is Matto Gubro. Oh, and he's out. That is it. Alex Bournet is out. No, he's not. He's out. He's coming out of the pit lane. That's great stuff. Matto Gubro, he's missing a wheel. So he's going to be able to repair that and get back out on track now. So the safety car at the start of this race was interesting. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I keep typing on the wrong keyboard. So the drivers are still being told to unlap themselves. It's a shame. I don't like seeing drivers go out right at the start of the race, especially when it's such a long race. I don't like seeing it. So, the safety car is still out, and I think, yeah, I do think that is it for Daniel Krupa and Matto Gubro. It does look like that's it. So Ryan Clemenson leading the way. I think there was a bit of a collision there, and that is Arthur Woods and Tamamo crosses around. Tamamo Cross and Arthur Woods have had a coming together under the safety car. How has that happened? I do wonder what has happened there. So, good job as a safety car. So I've got a feeling the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. I'm surprised it's not coming at the end on this lap. Safety car is in at the end of this lap. So once this safety car goes in, we can go back racing. That's what everybody is waiting for. Yeah, exactly, my boy. You never know. So we've got the head-to-heads on screen. So these drivers are going to get going again. And it will be Ryan Clemenson that leads the safety car restart. He's trying to get some heat into them tyres. It will be Deco Slater out of turn 11 and off they go once again. Ryan Clemenson with an awesome restart. Deco Slater 6/10 behind. He got left a little bit behind there. It was a great restart. Here comes Kai Elshoff into the slipstream of Alan Borowski as he moves to the right-hand side, looking for the inside of turn 1. Kai Elshoff, the Dutch driver, on Alan Borowski, the man from Poland. The Alpine is staying with him at the moment, but it is the Aston Martin Valkyrie that gets the overtake done. Kai Elshoff is through on Alan. Deco Slater only 2 tenths behind Ryan Clemenson. Then we move to the GT3s who are all safely through. And no collisions thus far. Josh Harper-Jones 2 tenths behind Deco Slater. These front three having a good start. And that is Marin Kitagawa and Razvan Dopleganu. That is the driver coming back on track. And it's getting a little bit spicy at the back. And that is Alan Borowski that has lost a few places. Alan Borowski coming back on track, and that was Richard in the Lexus that was able to just dodge out of the way of the Alpine. Now Alan Borowski, there's a driver off of the wheel going flying in the background. That is Theo Tarland in the middle of the track. And that is it. He is into the pit lane and out of this race. Theo Tarland is out. Full course yellow. Deco Slater got the overtake on Ryan Clemenson whilst all of that was going on. And there's a few drivers just switching places, and that looks like there's a GT3 driver that might have spun it. There's a wheel on the middle of the track as well here. What is going on? So the race is neutralised for a minute. No need for the safety car at this time. The full course yellow doing its job. So full course yellow is out and they will go back racing shortly. Ryan Clemenson on the back of Deco Slater, and he will look for the restart. Green flag and we are racing once again. Ryan Clemenson once more getting an awesome restart, and this is going to be very close. As we head down in towards turn 10, he's all over the rear wing. Oh, and he goes into the back of him, and this is Josh Harper-Jones that will come up the inside of Ryan Clemenson, and Josh Harper-Jones is through, and Deco Slater gets all squirrely coming out of the final chicane. Josh Harper-Jones is now your leader. It is Deco Slater to Igumi Cap, and then Ryan Clemenson is now down to P4. George Benham. The GT3's in the distance. It's Milan Lorenz that leads in the Ferrari to restart in P2. The hypercar drivers, Arthur Woods on Razvan Dopleganu coming down in towards turn 1. He'll try the inside line and just smashes in to Razvan Dopleganu. Arthur Woods missing the brake pedal altogether. Deco Slater is only a tenth behind. He's going to try the switch back on Josh Harper-Jones. It's beautiful through the S's. Deco Slater looking for a way through as we come up towards turn 7 and 8. And now up the inside. But it is Josh Harper-Jones that holds on. Yellow sector 3. Look at this once more. Deco Slater is not giving up with this. He wants that position back. In towards turn 10 and 11. He'll try and switch it back up the inside. He gets the better exit on Josh Harper-Jones. He'll use the slipstream, moving to the left hand side. Razvan Dopleganu and Arthur Woods are going at it for round 2. And again Arthur Woods does not break and smashes into the side of Razvan Dopleganu. And Deco Slater is going around the outside, and so is Ryan Clemenson. 2 by 2 here in Bahrain. Deco Slater gets his nose ahead and back into the lead, but not for long. Josh Harper-Jones is giving him a run for his money and a run down towards turn 4. This is fantastic racing as Josh once again ahead and into the lead of this Grand Prix. Green flag, we are racing once more. Lucas Rajinski on Ethan Taylor is round. And that is a driver that is around, and that is Ryan Clemenson, and is involved in that. And the Genesis hypercar has tumbled down to P7. So it is drama already. The GT3s are being really clean. Not much happening in the back. You've got Oliver Spitch on restart. But it's the hypercar where all the action is happening. Lucas Rzyński on Ethan Taylor, who's up to P5. Up the inside he goes, and that is Lucas Rzyński that is through. Deco Slater and Josh Harper-Jones are going at it, fighting for the lead once more. And that is Deco Slater that's round now. The drivers that were in P1 and P2 have both gone out of this race, and into the wall goes Deco Slater. He is stuck. And it is carnage here in Bahrain. Matteo Maccarini in the Ford Mustang going deep. Milan Lorenz leads to Rees in the Mercedes. The Ferrari to the Mercedes, just like realistic. And now Oliver Spitz thinks about the overtake and then backs out. This is a real terrible race for Deco Slater, and he's got no wheel on the rear of that car. What has happened here? It's still a yellow flag, sector 1. Oliver Spitz chasing down Rees Dye. Milan Lorenz nearly a second clear of the pack. There's a yellow flag, and that is car number 13 of Daniel Cooper in the post that is around. And Deco Slater is still plodding along. So look how close Oliver Spitz is now to Rees. And this is where he might go for that move up the inside. Rees leaves the space. And Kevin Estre is going to join in on the action shortly. So Josh Harper-Jones leads to Kai Elshoff and George Benham in P3. And that's a good exit out of turn 2 and 3 by George Benham. We go past the GT3 drivers. And look at this from George Benham on Kai Elshoff. Up the inside goes the Peugeot driver. And then he'll switch it back on the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Oh, that's close. They need to be careful of that Ferrari. And that was good racing. And George Benham got the better exit around turn 9. And then we've got a run towards turn 10 and 11. Close racing under the lights here in Bahrain. And they'll go around the outside of the Aston Martin. The GT3 driver. And that is Kai Elshoff that is off the track. Ethan Taylor and Lucas Rzyński are through. Ford Mustang and Ferrari collide. A huge crash. Huge crash. My goodness. Safety car. What is going on? What is going on here? I did say Bahrain short would be a nightmare. Bahrain outer circuit with 33 drivers and half the grid being way quicker than the other half is always a recipe for disaster. Safety car is out. So the safety car is out. He's waiting for the leader. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit annoyed by this race. So the driver's on the way out of the pit lane. The safety car is going in, and we are going to go back racing. Like, what can I do, guys? Like, what can I do? I pour shitloads of resources into this league. I spend so much money. I'm sending real trophies. We've created marshal balls. We've put so much time and effort into RLT. We've done fucking attendance. We've done roles. We've done so much time and effort into this league. And then people start going at me saying my drivers are shit. What can I do to control the drivers? Just because some guy's got some massive ego and thinks he's better than everybody else. So, down the inside goes Marin Kitagawa, who's up to P2. And then you've got Oliver Spitch on restart, wheel to wheel, go the Mercedes and the Aston Martin as we just slightly touch there, but Reese does stay ahead. Here comes Arthur Woods on a Guri car. I mean, I'm watching some of the driving and I'm appalled myself. What more can I do? Like, some of the dive bombs and the lack of respect is absolutely outrageous. So, Kai Elshoff, Ethan Taylor and Ryan Clemenson, this three-way fight for P6. Oh, look at this, coming out of turn 11. And Tamamo Cross might even try and move up the inside. And he is going to go for that overtake up the inside of Ethan Taylor. Tamamo Cross is through. Ethan Taylor down to P8, and now Kai Elshoff and a Guri Cat might even try their luck. And the GT3 drivers, Richard Tajak now back up to P4. He did start on pole position, so he's done a great job to get back up to here. Kai Elshoff has been handed a drive-through time penalty for, is it speeding under the safety car? So Daniel Krupa and Alex Bonet. Daniel Krupa and Alex Bonet are back in the race. Oh no, that was Mato Gubro, wasn't it? So it's Nicholas Duncan that's out. Oscar Ellis is out. Rian Spencer is out. Yellow sector 3. Oh God, I'm fed up. So here we go, Christian Nyholm on Marin Kitagawa and the Aston Martin Valkyrie going up the inside of Ryan Clemenson. We'll try switching back up the inside. And a three-way fight as we head down in towards turn 1. Ryan Clemenson does have the run. Christian Nyholm is just in front. Marin's going to go late on the brakes and Marin just... Oh, Marin. I'm not even streaming this, guys. I'm not even streaming it. So we are racing once again. Aguri Cap and Christian Nyholm. Christian Nyholm into P2 with Aguri Cap chasing him down onto the GT3s. It's Richard Tychak that will go up the inside of Reese Dye. The Mercedes versus Lexus. Reese Dye leaves space around the outside. Now back up the inside he goes through turn 5 and 6. And it is Reese Dye that just stays ahead. Kevin Estre, Oliver Spitch and Conor Garrett are all closely matched. But Richard, who started on pole position, is chasing back that P1. Ryan Clemenson on Christian Nyholm. Yellow sector 1 again. I think that is driver number 9. That is Kai Elshov into the wall. That'll be a full course yellow. A huge crash as Kai Elshov, the Dutchman, goes tumbling into the wall. Richard into the slipstream of Reese Dye in front. So Richard Tychak 0.2 of a second behind. And is he going to go for that move up the inside? We are witnessing some great racing. Will he be able to make the move? We'll watch the input of the driver ahead. And he's very close to the apex. And on to the back of this driver. And up the inside he goes. Richard, and that was Reese that made a huge mistake. Ways into the pit lane. What has happened? Aguri Cap now chasing down Tamamo Cross. So Aguri Cap and Tamamo Cross are going at it. Tamamo goes through as Aguri goes... Sorry, Aguri goes through as Tamamo goes wide. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Maggie. This is probably the worst race I've ever watched for standards. Which is a real shame because it had so much potential to be one of the greatest that we've had. So that is Kai Elshov that is still trying to go along. Conor Garrett on Richard. And here we go, Kai Elshov as they go through. You can see the overtake there. I invited Deco back, by the way. Oh, Reese's game crashed. So Ryan Clemenson and Christian Nyholm are getting very close on track. Green flag. And Oliver Spitch on Conor Garrett. You can see the overtake in the middle of your screen. You can see them getting closer. Aguri Cap in the hypercar. They are coming through. Tamamo Cross. The hypercars are starting to overtake the GT3s. This is where it could all go wrong. Around the outside goes Ryan Clemenson. So look at this for racing. And Marin Kitagawa will go down the inside. And then you've got Conor Garrett. Remember, Richard Tychak is 5 seconds behind Milan Lawrence with 22 minutes to go. Yeah, Reese, that was so good, mate. I can't believe he game crashed. You were having such a good race. So what about Marin Kitagawa on Ethan Taylor? They'll have to be careful as they go around the GT3s. Oh, and he's Marin. Man, what is this? Why are we driving like that? Kevin Estre chasing down Oliver Spitch. Can the BMW driver make a move on the Aston Martin? We will find out shortly. Green flag, we are back racing, and down the inside goes the hypercar. We are on board with the BMW. And he did lose a little bit of time there. So Conor Garrett on Richard. He is closing the gap to the Lexus in front. 2 tenths is the gap as we go down towards turn 1. Honestly, the effort that we've put into this stream tonight, and we watch a race like that, I'm so pissed off. So, here we go. And that is Reese. That is out. We've had so many DNFs. This is ridiculous. So it is George Benham that leads in the hypercars. Conor Garrett is a second behind Richard now, after having to back out. Nah, you're all good, Reece. Don't worry, that's not your fault. So Mato Gobro, a lap down, just having a little battle there. We had 33 drivers. We've now got 21. So Kevin Estre will try and make a move. And Richard has now got a bit of breathing space. And I tell you what, Richard has caught up to Milan by a second in the last couple of minutes. So that will be a battle to watch, because he is absolutely flying here, Richard. So 3 seconds now. Richard is flying. This is incredible. He is on a charge. What's going on, Kai? I'm sorry about this race. I expect there to be a lot of reports. I've seen the same couple of drivers do the most ridiculous things, but not just once, not just twice, like 3, 4, 5 times. Tamamo Cross. Ethan Taylor is up to P5. Aguri Cap is not too far off Christian Nyholm now, the Finnish driver in the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Is going to go around the outside of Richard. They've got to be careful as Richard is in a race of his own. And Tamamo only 8 tenths behind Ethan Taylor. And Richard, 4 seconds now. He did lose a lot of time behind that hypercar. And Aguri Cap on Christian Nyholm goes for that lunge up the inside. Aguri Cap is through. My only problem, it's a good overtake, but my only problem is if you're going to use the drivers as battering rams and use them to slow your car down, you shouldn't go for the overtake. And that isn't a direct hit at Aguri there, by the way. That was a good overtake. I'm just saying in general, like, if you're going to go for a lunge and it means that you're going to have to crash into the driver in front to slow yourself down, don't go for it. So Ethan Taylor, 4 tenths behind Lucas Rajinski. He was in P5. He's now down to P7, so he must have been the yellow flag. We still have 10 hypercars in this race. Ethan Taylor, got to be a bit careful here with this GT3 in front. And he'll go up the inside, and Solar is through. Christian Nyholm is staying with Aguri Cap, who's into the podium places here in Bahrain. No, Kai, I don't think you were that much of a problem, mate. Yeah, George Benham leading through default at this point. I mean, we started off with 15 hypercars, there's 10 left. We started off with, I mean, technically we've had 12 DNFs. It's been one of the worst multi-class races I've ever watched. And I'm absolutely gutted about it because the effort that we have put in this week to bring overlays, marshal modes, safety cars, and then we turn up in it races like that. Yeah, Ryan is catching. 2.6 is the gap. So Ryan Clemenson is getting ever so closer to George Benham. Oh, there's a driver that is around. Green flag. There we go. So Ryan Clemenson and George Benham. Kai, we're not live on YouTube. We just upload to YouTube afterwards, mate. Yeah, Diamond. It's been alright, mate. It's been alright. Sorry. Green flag. So we can have a look at the virtual energy of these drivers. Yellow sector free. And Marin Kitagawa 8 tenths behind Ethan Taylor. Ryan Clemenson now only 1.7 behind. Richard 4.4 behind Milan Lawrence. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just trying to do something. Bear with me. So 1.8 is the gap to Ryan Clemenson now. And here comes Marin Kitagawa on Ethan Taylor. Is he going to go for the move? Marin Kitagawa, Ethan Taylor trying to hold on, but Marin takes the inside line as they go down in towards turn 10 and 11. But Ethan Taylor holds on. Marin backs out. He's going to have to try again. So Marin thought the move was on. It wasn't. And he'll have to do it all over again. Ryan Clemenson, 0.2 behind George Benham. Into the slipstream goes Ryan Clemenson. He will go to the outside of turn 10 and 11. It's Peugeot versus Genesis. Ryan gets his foot down early. And that is a great move. Ryan Clemenson. Can George Benham respond? Let's take a look. George into the slipstream now of Ryan Clemenson. Around past the GT3s, but George has turned in way too early. He's hit the Ferrari, and that could have ended in tears. But Ryan has the move done. He's flashing the Lexus to say I'm coming through. So we can see the positional changes of these drivers. Up 7 places, Ethan Taylor. Up 4 places, George Benham. And that was Christian Nyholm. That is Ethan Taylor and Marin Kitagawa again going at it for round 2. Ethan Taylor once again defending. He's doing a great job at defending. So Ethan's going to defend this position as much as possible. So we are riding on board once more, and Marin Kitagawa switches it back up the inside. It's a beautiful move for Marin Kitagawa, and they'll use that GT3 as a little bit of a tow. Can Ethan Taylor respond to Marin Kitagawa, who gets all out of sync as he goes in towards turn 11? Now Ethan Taylor into the slipstream of Marin. Can he respond? It looks like he is getting a little bit more top speed, but it's not going to be good enough. Down the inside goes Ethan Taylor. Late on the brakes. Marin has to avoid. And Ethan is back through. And up to P7. My oh my. So we can see the fastest lap time between the drivers now. Ryan Clemenson and Conor Garrett have the fastest lap times of anybody. So can Marin come back at Ethan Taylor? It is Cadillac versus BMW. The Cadillac is in front only for the moment. Richard 3.5 behind Milan. George Benham has been overtaken by Ryan Clemenson. Ryan now the leader once more. And here comes Marin. Can he try his luck? Can he do what Ethan did? He's not going to. Christian Nyholm into the pit lane. Robert Rockford getting through with 10 minutes remaining in this race. Here comes Marin on Ethan Taylor. They go up towards turn 4. So Marin, is it going to be third time lucky down in towards turn 1? They need to be careful of these GT3s. He's turned in early and hit the Lexus there, and they have collided again, and the GT3s are trying to avoid them. It's getting so messy between the pair of them, and it's causing havoc for the other drivers on track. Richard only 1.8 behind. He's doing a fabulous job here, Richard. I think he is the championship leader of the hypercars, of the GT3, sorry. I'm just checking. So he is the leader by 19 points to Robert Rockford in P2. And this could definitely extend that gap for him. Ryan, is he the leader of the hypercars? That is the question. No, it's Kai Elshoff is the leader of the hypercars. Oh wait, I'm on the... Yeah, Kai Elshoff, the leader of the hypercars. So with Kai Elshoff now out of this Grand Prix, this is massive for Ryan Clemenson. Yellow sector 1. Oh, Richard's through. Milan. Has Milan pitted or made a mistake? Oh, wow. Milan is down to P4. With 7 minutes to go. Richard, your GT3 championship leader is on for another victory here in Bahrain. So Richard. There's a few drivers that still need to pit. So the top 3 still need to pit. So that means Milan is still in a good position here with 6 minutes remaining. Oh, they've got a fuel save. Interesting stuff. So Richard still banging out laps with 5 minutes remaining in this race. We do go to a decent track next week. We go to the US of A for the Sebring circuit. We go to France for Le Mans. And it is 100 minutes of Le Mans. It's a really long track, Le Mans. So you don't really get drivers sort of bunched up like you do in Bahrain. It's because the lap's like 4 minutes long or something like that. The drivers are so spread out, so you get a lot of good racing. You've got to get a lot of good battling, and you don't get many of the drivers lapping each other too many times, which is good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Le Mans, 100 minutes of Le Mans next Monday. Oh, now it's Marin that is around again. And that is Oliver Spitch that is through. Stefano into the pit lane. I do wonder if Richard is going to make it to the end. He's going to have to really fuel save now. Richard in a really strong position in this championship. He really is. Stefano through on... Marek through on Stefano. Another Titan Core racing driver moving up in the points. Milan's is catching up to Robert with every minute that goes by, but he's only got 2.5 of them remaining. Here we go. Yeah. The BMW on Milan. Milan is very quick at the moment. I don't know if we've got the Bahrain outer circuit on RLT. I might have to add it on. wonder if it'll be under Sakir. Sakir is it called? So Milan only 3 seconds behind. Aguri Cap is only 1.5 behind George Benham with 30 seconds remaining. So here we go. Fanfit's catching. Richard is still in the lead. Robert Rockford is catching. And so is Milan. I tell you what, Richard is in the pit lane. Robert Rockford is leading. That means Milan is chasing down Robert Rockford on the very final lap of this race. And Aguri Cap is chasing down George Benham. It could all change at the very end of this race. Aguri 1 second behind. Milan 2 seconds behind. But Robert Rockford, incredible. Robert Rockford is on for a race victory. Can you believe it? And there goes Tamamo Cross. And the checkered flag is out. This is the final lap of the race. No, that is it. Ryan Clemenson has come through to win in the hypercar. Ryan Clemenson wins. The GT3s are on their final lap. Ryan at Milan on Robert Rockford, but Ryan Clemenson wins. George Benham takes P2 and Aguri Cap takes P3. Now the chase is on. Milan is half a second behind Robert Rockford. Coming out of turn 11. It's a sprint to the finish line. Robert is trying to hold on. Can he make it to the checkered flag? He can. Robert Rockford wins to Milan Lawrence in P2. What an end to the race. Richard Tajciak will take a podium in P3 and he will stay as your championship leader after round 3. Wow. What a race. So that is it. There we have it, guys. Race over. Well, that was a messy one. Jesus. So that is it, guys. We'll be back for 100 minutes of Le Mans next week. And by the way, we are going to be bringing in driver interviews. So stay tuned for that. We are going to be bringing in driver interviews so we can speak to the drivers at the end of the races. But until then, we'll be back for Le Mans next week. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Thank you for staying with us. I am very, very sorry for the standards we have seen tonight. I am really sorry. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. And I will see you on the next one.